It's no secret that most people that play Apex want to be a Predator. You get a cool badge, cool gun charm, dive trail, kids punching you off drop because they think it's funny, no social life, forget what showering is, and so much more. But how exactly do you get there? What are some things that Predators do that make them so good at the game? Well, hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8 Second Gaming, and in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down some habits that Predators do that allow them to take over any game and be comfortable in any situation. Now, if you're wanting to climb an Apex, hit Diamond, Masters, or be like the people I talk about in this video and be Predator, then you need to go check out the GameLeap website right now. Over there, we have top level coaches making highly informative guides on how to climb and get better in Apex. Some of the stuff is very niche and it's the type of things that you will not find anywhere else, I promise you that. So click the link in the description, grab yourself a membership today and start actually climbing in Apex. Now, diving right back into the tips, let's start off with one that I never see low elo players doing. And habit number 1 is to start dropping armor swaps to downed teammates. How many times have you been playing and you get into a fight? It's Apex, fights happen, but in that fight, one of your teammates does end up getting downed. You win the battle, pick your teammate back up, and they instantly get down from another team third-partying while trying to heal. You then have to run away or die to that third party, losing yourself a teammate in the process. Well, what you need to start doing is learning to grab armor swaps out of the boxes for your teammate. Run to the nearest one, grab an armor and drop it right next to the teammate that's getting rezzed. That way they have a fast boost of health and then can focus on getting fully healed up without having to worry about instantly dying right after. I can't tell you how many times this small trick has saved my team in games. Some of these games have been very high tier lobbies and even tournaments. Giving you and your team some breathing room is always a good idea, and especially in Season 12. This season, we have 2 very third-party heavy maps in rotation for ranked, those being Olympus and Kings Canyon. You need to learn how to quickly reset fights, and that's something Predators do very efficiently, and that's why they survive so many fights. Now, moving on to habit number 2, Predator players know how to use every gun in Apex. Everyone loves using a certain gun, and I'm sure that there's a few of you watching this video right now that every game you drop into, you'll say something along the lines of, I need to use this gun or I won't do well. And that type of mentality is something that's holding you back. If you watch Predator players, they are always able to use the gun they get no matter what. Of course, everyone has their comfort gun, but in order to really set yourself up to climb, you need to learn how to be confident with all of them. If you drop contested and you need to fight, you have to be able to kill people. And if you aren't able to control the recoil on, say, a Havoc or a car and you miss all your shots because you never learned them, then you're holding your team back. What you need to do is take some time, 10 to 15 minutes every day before you start playing. Go into the firing range and play around with all the guns you can. Learn recoil, learn some tricks on them, understand how they can function and fight so that no matter what happens, you're able to jump in and help your team. And guys, I've struggled with this myself a lot. I've been Predator, I've solo queued to Masters, I've played in ALGS finals, but I can't hit a wingman shot to save my life. Something about the gun just doesn't mesh with me, but every day I hop into the range before playing and I work with the gun, and I've seen some improvement to the point where I can use it if I'm forced to. I'm not happy about it, but I can. So really drilling down the essentials for guns is very important and a huge habit you need to get into your head, and one that's allowed Predator players to have easier times in certain games. Now, habit number 3 is kind of the same idea as number 2, but this one's a little bit more in depth. This is Predator players always use the right gun for their legends. Legends in Apex have certain playstyles and roles that they fit into. Let's take Wraith for example. She's an entry fragger. She's the first one into fights and needs to be able to punish people up close and personal. So with that in mind, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense for her to have long-range guns like a marksman rifle or sniper rifle. Yes, some argument can be made for Shattercast, but a shotgun is just a lot better. Predator players always play around their legend and their role, making sure they have the ability to do them and fill the spots on their team. Another example is Gibraltar. Gibby should always have a shotgun no matter what. Bubble fighting is a huge part of his kit and something you need to be good at if you're playing him. And there's no better weapon in a bubble fight than a shotgun because you can easily jiggle peek and deal tons of damage. So Gibraltar should always be running a shotgun. Now, there are times where you can be flexible depending on the team comps and who you are with, but generally you should always be looking to pair yourself with the guns that will be doing the most for your team. And some legends have more options than others. Taking Gibraltar, for example, again, he can use a lot more things than others. He can pick up a sniper rifle, a marksman rifle, an AR, and still do his job perfectly fine. So if you watch Predator players, they're always using the guns that fit into their Legends kit, and one that sets them up to not only win fights but just be better off in game as a whole because of the options they have. Now for habit number 4, and that's Predator players know every map inside out and backwards. Apex has 4 maps now: Kings Canyon, World's Edge, Olympus, and Stormpoint. Every map has something unique or different about it that changes the way people have to play on it. Maps have different choke points, they flow differently, people take fights certain ways on maps, and Predators know how each and every single one of these maps works. When you're looking to climb in Apex, you really need to start understanding the map and know all the different things about them. Where are the redeploy balloons? Is there a rat spot that someone could be hiding in near you? If you get held up in a choke that you're trying to go through, is there another way around? There is a lot to learn, and it can be very overwhelming to some players. My best advice for this is to just start small. Learn the big things first that are easy to remember: buildings, balloons, choke points, stuff like that. Take your time, this is a marathon, not a sprint. If you try to force yourself to learn too much too quickly, then you're gonna get frustrated and not follow through. It's kind of like a school curriculum. They don't just teach you everything all at once, they break it down into small portions that are easier to learn. Do the same thing with Apex. Now, what about habit number 5? What's 8second got stored up for this one? Well, this habit Preds use is don't waste any time in game. Each game of Apex is its own opportunity to learn something new or practice a certain technique. One of the best wall bouncers in Apex is Retzi. He can wall bounce on almost anything at any time, and you want to know how he got to this point to be able to do this when he plays. Running anywhere, he wall bounces off random stuff. In order to learn to be consistent in his wall bouncing, he utilized every second he could. Every single time he saw a spot to wall bounce, he did it because that's how you learn. And this goes for literally every single aspect of Apex. If you want to be better at calling zones, every game just see the first ring and then make a prediction. Then scan a beacon if possible and see if you were right, and keep going until you're able to call zones confidently. Want to learn how to be better at Pathfinder grapples? Grapple literally everywhere you can. This one is maybe better saved for pub games though, because you can find yourself being in bad situations if you waste it in a ranked game. But with this, you'll really drive home some habits and techniques for in-game and be juicing your rank climbs. Habits are something that can easily be picked up if you really just focus on them in-game and make sure to be doing them whenever you can. I really hope that these taught you some things and you'll learn a new habit because of it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to stay up to date with the channel, make sure to smash that like and subscribe button also, it really helps us out. Thank you all for watching. Once again, I'm 8second Gaming and I will see you in the next one.